My name is Selena, and I didn't really have any mental health care provider until about 10 years ago. I noticed that things were different. I was acting differently, and things were different. And when I moved out here to Ontario, I was able to obtain mental health and addiction services, which was wonderful. A real positive experience for me was when I first came to mental health services. They were very welcoming, very warm, very kind. It actually set me at ease. And they looked at me as, oh, you're a real person. They didn't look at the mental health part of it. They just looked at you, and I knew that they were there to help. It was very, very positive for me, and I'll always remember that. Some challenging experiences have been stigma, definitely, for somebody like myself. They look at me as, oh, you just have BPD. That's all you are, is a person with BPD. It's like I lose my identity almost. It's like I'm not Selena anymore. It makes me feel very insecure, like I'm crazy. There's no cure. I'm never going to be well. Maybe I'm not getting the right care. Let's make it more obtainable too to go to mental health or addictions. It's not always easy to get in there. The waiting lists are long. You have to go through all this screening, and you just begin to start breaking down and feel a sense of hopelessness.
Well, I'm Gary, and I have concurrent disorders, so I have other mental difficulties as well as an addiction. I've been in the process of recovery for about 5 years now, and I'm working my way through to better myself, so I have constant need of professional help. Addictions being the part of the mental health issues that was first diagnosed, and when I went into the treatment of this addiction, it was very positive that after seeing a psychiatrist I had become aware that there was other issues that were working against my treatment for addiction. So it was positive that mental health has become part of addictions, or addictions has become part of the mental health system. Because it was he works as a contractor to an agency, and I was no longer using any other service with the agency, I was no longer eligible to see this particular doctor, and so I had to try to obtain another psychiatrist on my own from that point on, which I thought was a little bit difficult because of it's very sensitive, the relationship between the doctor, and once you have one, I think it has to be probably more carefully maintained, because I ended up without one, where and having to start over in the middle of a treatment thing that is a number of years, maybe forever.
My name is Marie-Noëlle Saint-Cyr, and I think that I've been in this area. I've been looking in the past for services because my mother was elderly and had a stroke, was paralyzed on the right side. And also in my capacity as a high school principal, when my students are feeling under the weather in terms of mood swings and depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. As all teenagers, well, not all, luckily, but some teenagers do go through these phases. I've been referring and trying to find services for them, and I was surprised that it was not that hard to find a neurologist who spoke French or a cardiologist who spoke French. Actually, all the services that were needed, either for my mother or my father, I found fairly easily. I certainly felt that if they spoke the same language as their clients, the patients, then the rapport that is established is much more solid, and the trust. People are feeling vulnerable when they need services, and especially if they have lost the use of English or it's never been their first language, then they are really weary to explain something that might be very personal. I've yet to meet the first responder. If you go to emergency, that speaks French, no. But we work with Pathways as a companion partner in these cases, and they help. We also have a social worker that is assigned to our board for our area, so that goes from Brockville to Trenton, including Kingston, of course. And she helps because she has contacts in the community. And now there is a service in French at Hôtel Dieu with a psychiatrist, a psychologist. So things are kind of moving. It's not, I mean, one psychiatrist who speaks French, who is bilingual, is not many, but it's better than we had in the past. I think I could add that it's reassuring that we're talking about it. I've been here for more than 30 years in Kingston, and we have been working. We've known the need. A lot of us have piloted one way or another with our own loved ones, or even ourselves. And now we are hopeful. We feel that there's a change in the air, and that things will become more organically bilingual in this area, and that we will not feel that we must translate feelings at the oddest times anymore. We'll be able to talk directly to people and hear answers in French.
My name is David Jock. I am coming into the urban setting as a practitioner and also as a doctorate in holistic medicine and natural medicine and all that it brings any client or clientele. My main clientele consists of impoverished people and populace, as well as homeless. So you see my frontline work is very critical and very vital to the survival of the people of the street, especially the indigenous populace, which is downtown well over 25% at this time. We have also created necessary, what we call indigenous health programming, which will bring them from the street to a safe environmental circle. And there they will ground and they will feel more comfortable and start building trust and rapport as frontline primary service workers. I guess what I liked about it is that I went beyond the forefront of service. I was able to have human intervention with them, non-judgmental for frontline service primary care. I was able to have intervention wherever they are, if that be in the parks, if that be down by the waters, whether that be downtown Queen or Princess. I'm able to meet them on common ground. I believe a lot of it is opened up, but I don't believe that a lot of the indigenous populace realize that these services are available to them on a daily, weekly basis at the Street Health Clinic. And it is a walk-in clinic, and it will be by appointment. And there are people on board that will see them on request. And this I'm very, very impressed with, because many times by the time they get to an appointment, they've suffered greatly and sometimes critically. I believe the process is long. It's very diversified at this time. It's very difficult in its process. I'd like to see it even more simplified than what it is at this time. I think a lot of the challenges can be policy and quite political in their nature. So I also feel that by going more holistic in approach and also to respect all diversification of nations and cultures, languages, that we will better open the door to all client and clientele. To better understand all of our approaches to a client and clientele, that everybody deserves the right to be healed and to mainstream services, whether it be holistic in its nature and approach, or whether it be clinical Western medicine, that everyone has the right to be well and to heal mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically.